Module 5. Recording 4. Claire.
I'd been working as a geography teacher in a big secondary school for about 3 years, and I was getting really fed up. The kids were really badly behaved and rude, and it was really hard to control them. Every day was really stressful and awful. I was working every evening, marking homework and preparing lessons, and I just went to bed exhausted and really depressed every night. It just wasn't the right job for me. Then one day, I read in the newspaper that there aren't enough plumbers in the country. Too many people are going to university and not enough people are training to be plumbers. And I said jokingly to my boyfriend, "I'll be a plumber. I'll earn more money and I won't have to deal with those kids every day, and I'll never have to worry about finding a job." And at first, it was just a joke. But then I started thinking about it seriously. And well, here I am. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. You have practical problems to solve every day, which I like. You start work early, which I don't like, I must say. But when you go home at 4 or 5 o'clock, that's it. You can forget about it until the next day. No more nights lying awake worrying about it. I'm the only woman on the course. My colleagues are all male, but they're fine. They make a few jokes, mostly because I used to be a teacher, but it's all very friendly. Sometimes you meet older people who think you can't do the job because you're a woman, and that's a real pain. But compared to my classes at the school where I used to work, it's really no problem at all.
Kevin.
I lost my job when the company where I worked closed down, and it was terrible. All these men unemployed and no jobs for them anywhere. And so my wife, Sally, decided to go back to work. She's a legal secretary, and there's always lots of that kind of work. But she has to work long hours. So basically, we changed places. I look after the baby and take the other two to school and do the shopping and the cooking and the housework. And I must say, it's the hardest work I've ever done. Before, I used to think my wife had an easy time while I was working. Now I see mums and housewives in a different way. At first, I hated it. I was desperate to get back to work, but now I've started to enjoy it. I never used to see much of the kids, and now I'm watching them grow up, and I'm part of everything they do. I still feel a bit lonely sometimes. I miss the people I worked with, but at least the other mothers at school talk to me now, and I've even met some other house husbands at the school gate, but I don't want to do it forever. I'm still looking for another job.
Lorna.
Ian and I were both doing well in our careers in the city, but we were working really long hours, often 12 hours a day, and travelling 2 hours a day as well, and still living in a tiny flat because flats are so expensive in London. And when we decided to get married and start a family, we just realised we didn't want to bring our children up with that kind of life, that kind of stress. We came down here for a holiday and just fell in love with this place. It just seemed like the ideal place for children to grow up. And when we found the hotel, it was perfect, like a dream come true. I must say, it's been a lot harder than I thought. Running a hotel is a 24-hour job, and we've had lots of problems that we didn't really expect. The people in the village weren't that friendly at first, though it's getting better now, and we had quite a lot of money problems and things like that. After the baby's born, it's going to be difficult too. Ian will have to work even harder because I'll have the baby to look after. But even with all those problems, I still really love it. I really enjoy meeting new people all the time. It's still the place where I want to bring up my children, and I don't miss my life in London at all. At the end of a long day, I just look out at the view and listen to the sea. I still think we're really lucky to be here.